Okay, hey Chucklefucks, it's your boy Dark Raikou here with a new what if. Now, before I go on, I did get a suggested what if like a while ago, thanks to Freddy. What's it called? This is not the suggested what if, it's another one. But the guy that is named Freddy, the reason why I haven't did your suggested what if, I did it and I didn't like it. So yeah, I didn't upload it. So of course I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Today I'm just gonna record this one and then yeah, you get the point, right? Also, am I about to hit 200 subscribers? I just noticed that a while ago. So yeah, it looks like I'm about to hit 200 subscribers. I just need like 10 more subs. Goddamn. Fuck. Gotta make another special. That just had to be the 200. Oh, I wasn't expecting to kind of grow that fast. Not the point. Let me go into this what if. This what if is called What If Issei Was a Reincarnation of Karma Akabane. Now, if you don't know who Karma Akabane is, or Akabane, or Akabane, I think that's how you say it, pronounce it. But if you don't know who he is, you probably never watched Assassin Classroom, or Classroom Assassin? Or, what's it? Assassin Classroom? Yeah, Assassin Classroom. So if you never watched that anime, then you're just going to know absolute the fuck nothing in who this character is. This character's a menace to everything. Somewhat. He's also pretty fucking lazy. Okay, so yeah, he's pretty fucking lazy also. Sometimes. Sometimes he's actually a fucking menace to society. He's also pretty fucking smart. Now, I was going to, okay. For this what if, I was actually thinking of also adding, he was also the reincarnation of Lelouch Bertanian, or Lelouch v. Bertanian. Now, if you don't know who Lelouch is, well, I'm not going to explain him. I'm going to do that in a separate what if. Because I don't know why I wanted to add both of them together. No, I don't fucking know why. Just because they're smart. Overpower half the time in their anime verse, kinda. And just can outsmart a lot of fucking people. You know what? No, I'm not gonna add him. Now, not the point. I'm rambling on. Yes, I'm fucking doing that. But pretty much, Karma Akabane is basically a character from Assassin Classroom who tries to assassinate the teacher. Now, I'm not gonna go into explaining and what the teacher is, because all you gotta know is he's yellow, he's an octopus, and he moves fucking fast. He moves faster than your dad going to go get milk. Okay, I couldn't resist in saying that joke. Now, sorry for any fatherless children out there that's watching my video. Not really, I'm not sorry. Okay, I'm just on something half the damn time. Not the point, let me go back with that. What if, okay? So, of course, Karma, he tries to assassinate the teacher with every other student. Of course, they didn't manage to assassinate him in a proper way to try to kill him off. Instead, they actually learn a lot from him, and I mean a lot. But of course, Karma learns actually fucking study. Like, actual fucking learn. But not the point. Of course, they managed to assassinate him. I don't really want to spoil it. I want people to watch it because it's actually an amazing anime, which I kind of like. And don't get trapped by what's it called, Karma. Well, mostly Karma Akabane, the other character from him that's actually pretty skilled. I mean, Karma is like, I would say first, mostly he's tied with someone else who's skilled in that classroom. A blue-haired guy. It is a guy, not a girl. So don't get trapped on that. But of course, not the point. Let me go into this what if. Okay? So we go into mostly someone just waking up. An alarm clock was not set. Mostly his mother busts through the room and of course says, "Wake your ass up, Issei." This is where Issei wakes up, right now tired, groggily from his eyes, wondering what day is it. This is where, well, he checks on his phone and this is where he realized, oh, it's a Tuesday. Why do I need to wake up this early? No, fuck off. Issei goes back to sleep, and this is where, well, his mom screams his name after a couple of hours. This is where he says, "You better get to fucking school, Issei." This is where, well, she then sighs and says, "Karma, This is where Issa wakes the fuck up and says, huh? Oh shit. School? I don't have school until like next year or something. This is where he kind of just like not realize something. He realized, oh shit, I do have school. No, I don't give a fuck. Issa goes back to sleep. This is where, well, his mother wakes the fuck, well, mostly wakes his ass up and makes him try to get ready. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei kind of gets up groggily still. Right now, he's wearing, what's it called, white button-up shirt. Of course, he doesn't have really a shirt underneath, but he's wearing a kind of black kind of coat. And of course, this is where, well, or mostly a black, yeah, black coat, something like that. Grayish pants, and of course, black shoes. Now, of course, this is where, well, he's wearing also, well, that's pretty much all, but this is where, well, he yawns and says, what? Damn it. Can't I just go to sleep? His dad is right now kind of working, so of course, this is where, well, his mom was the one to wake his ass up. This is where, well, his mom says, Issei, you do realize what today is, right? This is where, well, Issei says, yeah, some school day, which I'm still suspended, do you not remember? This is where she kind of shakes her head and says, no, that was last week. This is the day where you go back to school after, I don't know, fucking 3 months of suspension. And Issei says, fuck. Fine. I understand. Stop screaming in my ear. I don't. Yeah. This is where, well, she sighs because this is the last year of, well, Issei's kind of school year. And of course, Issei is really taking this like fucking, like he doesn't care that much. This is where, well, Issei says, don't worry. I already know. I can hear you. Blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna have to call my fucking job about I'm not going to fucking work. It's work. Well, Issei does kind of work. But, of course, not a regular job if you want to think about it. It's work. Well, Issei went back up to his room to get his phone. Not really. He kind of grabs the phone underneath his bed. And, of course, picks up and calls someone. This is where this person says, Yo, Karma. What are you doing? This is where, well, Issei, also known as Karma, says, yo, I might not be able to go to work, so don't send me anything. And don't be too idiot, okay? I gotta go to school again. Fuck. This is where the other person says, just get suspended again. Just beat the shit out of some people and be done. I know, but my mom is gonna be such a bitch about it. Even though I'm getting paid good, they still don't know this that much. Does it work? Well, the other dude says, yo, well, see you, man. This is where Issei says, yeah, see you, Crypto. This is where, well, the person's name now is known. Crypto kind of just nodded, or mostly you can't really see him nod. He mostly just nods in the dark while going back into his computer. Mostly a figure that you can't really see its face. Has a hood that's kind of green. And of course, this is where, well, kind of neon lights is around him, but yeah. This is where he's right now on like a gaming chair, right now on a computer, but yeah. Multiple screens of computers. This is where, well, he has multiple keyboards also. This is where, well, we go into Issei. Oh, fuck. Well, gotta look stunning enough, or not give two fucks less. This is where he puts on a face mask, a black face mask, and of course he gets to, what's it called, school. He gets out of the house after his mom kicking him out, or mostly kicking him to the fucking curb to actually get him to school. This is where, well, Issei is walking to school. He knows that he's fucking late. It's like 9:20 already, and he's not even near school. Yeah. Issei didn't give a fuck. Now, this is where, well, Issei is getting to the school, sees that, well, the gates aren't really closed, but of course he's walking in, and of course this is where, well, we go into someone kind of like right now reading a report. And of course she has glasses, pinkish, well, it looks like reddish eyes, and seems to have like a bob haircut or like a bowl haircut, whatever. This is where, well, she has this weird feeling that she's forgetting something, but of course she doesn't care. She's right now looking at the report and getting quite annoyed because someone got mostly reported about the duo of the perverted duos. But of course, this is where, well, for some reason she has a weird feeling with reading the, what's it called, duo perverts at it again with the kendo class and swimming class and whatever. This is where, well, she doesn't care that much, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei is getting towards mostly the school. He walks in, and he's going to the president council club. So, well, mostly the council president, just to get his, mostly, signing some information saying that he's back to school. But yeah, he's getting close towards the mostly council president. And of course, he's getting close. He sees the office. He's walking very, very silently. Like, you can barely hear him. But of course, he's walking normal speed, but he's silent most of the time. Of course, he doesn't say anything. There was barely any students. All students kind of went inside their class and all that, proper class. But of course, well, Issei gets so close to the president, mostly the council president, classroom and all that, or where to kind of sign whatever, blah, blah, blah. He opens the door, then realizes it's a kind of office, was an office and all that. Of course, there's another door to lead him towards the actual, meeting the council president. Of course, well, there's not really, there's not really an assistant there on like the, office room or whatever. Looks like the assistant went to go do something. But this is where Issei walks to the door, opens it without a care in the world. He didn't knock, he didn't ask. He just opens that bitch up and then just kind of walks in, sits right in front of Sona, which Sona is still reading. She sighs because she thinks it's some pervert who doesn't really have any improper manners or anything, kind of knock or anything. When she looks up from the paper, her eyes widen. This is where, well, she wanted to see this person, the last fucking person in the entire world. She'd rather not see this person ever again. This is where, well, she then just kind of widened her eyes. Her eyes are just the size of the dinner plate. She just hates her luck. She can't really deal with this person. She needs Tsubaki to deal with them. But of course, it's just such a bad luck. This is where, well, she starts stuttering a little bit. This is where, well, Issei grins with this evilish smile and says, "Hello there, Serena." Serena, the council club president. I came here to sign some papers about me returning back to school. After me returning back to school after my 3-month suspension. This is where Issei's kind of grinning a little bit towards her. And this is where, well, she is just narrowing her eyes. This is the last person she ever wants to see. Never again she wanted to see this person. She realized that 3 months has already passed. No wonder that bad feeling that she was having in her stomach wasn't because of the two perverts. Well, it was kind of connected to that. But it was connected towards Issei mostly. Issei isn't, well, your typical normal kind of high schooler. His hair is kind of a reddish color. A kind of, not crimson red, it's kind of like an orange red. But at the same time, kind of looks like blood sometimes. His eyes are usually a goldenish color. A golden color, which everyone is shocked most of the time. Because normal eyes are usually brown or blue or greenish blue or teal or whatever, hazel. No, his eyes are gold. This is where, well, he has kind of palish skin a little bit. But of course, he's also a well-toned, body. He's pretty big. He's the height of 5'9". Of course, where, well, this person has a very troublesome aura. Sona noticed, which she already knows that this person always had the troublesome aura. This is where, well, Issei grins at her and says, "Hello, you can stop looking at my body. You know that's kind of creepy for the council president to do." Issei grins at her. This is where, well, she glares at him. This is where, well, Issei says, Whoa, what's with that glare? That's a nasty glare, I see. It seems that you don't like me. Ah, but whatever. You might not like me, but I like myself." This is where Issei grins at her. This is where, well, just a small, tiny bit of grin. Just a laughter a little bit. This is where, well, she kind of just doesn't care. She kind of went to go pick up papers from her drawer. And of course, where Issei said, I guess you don't like my jokes. But still, Such a beautiful girl like you really are gonna just ignore me. That's what Sona, she gets tense up a little bit and glares at Issei. Issei said, fine, fine, fine. I won't say anything no more. Don't worry, I'll stay here silent. Very silent. That's where, well, she rather not deal with Issei, but she doesn't want Issei to just look at her. Of course, she rather hear him talk because he is silent. He's legit silent like a mouse. Or not even silent like a mouse. He is just silent. He could be, he's just so silent that it's basically just sounds like there's no one here. This is where she gets papers and of course puts them right in front of Karma and of course mostly Issei, but I'm gonna call him Karma most of the time. This is where, well, she then glares at him and says, sign it. This is where, well, Issei says, I need a pen. This is where, well, she looks at him, grabs a pen and gives it to him, just tosses it at him. This is where, well, Issei says, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're just gonna toss it like that? No pleasant of like giving it to me in my hand? Fine, I'll do it myself. This is where, well, Issei grabs the pen and of course starts writing on, well, these 3 papers about his names, well, mostly signature, and of course a date. And of course, where, well, he then gives it back towards, well, Sona, such politely. This is where Sona glares at him still. Well, of course, this is where Sona, she kind of like gets the paper, and of course, just kind of, well, looks at it, stamps it with a kind of stamp, and of course decides to tell, well, Issei he can go into his class. But of course she says don't cause any trouble. She gives this like angry glare at Issei. Issei looks at her, grins a little bit, and says, would I ever cause too much trouble? What? Am I that so much of a bad kid? This is where, well, Sona then thinks about it and thinks that it would be a terrible idea to put him in the same classroom and the same reason why he got suspended in the first place. So of course she says, wait, before you leave. This is where she kind of types in the computer real fast and changing his schedule and everything about it. She basically changed all his schedule. This is where she gives the schedule and says, here, you're going to be in a different classroom from your previous, what's it called, homeroom classroom. Now, get the fuck out of my office. This is where Issei says, ooh, cussing at me now. Are we? Are we finally at such a stage for you to start cussing at me? This is where, well, Sona glares at him. This is where Issei says, so angry, yet so beautiful. This is where Issei said that so quietly, but Sona, she managed to hear it, and of course, she kind of blushes a little bit, tint of pink. This is where Issei says, well, I should be going then. Bye. I promise I won't cause any more trouble. He's holding the paper and kind of swinging it to the side, and mostly kind of flapping it. This is where, well, she just, when the door kind of closed, this is where Sona smashes her fist into the table and says, motherfucker, why does he have to be coming back? She kind of just frustrated, is already annoyed. This is where, well, she looks to the side of herself and sees, well, a report of what really happened about 3 months. Mostly it was 3 months basically into the school year. Like, it was the start of the school year. And this is where it has a report of, well, Issei. Also known as Issei Akabane. Now, Issei, basically his last name isn't Hyodo. And his parents aren't really named Hyodo. But pretty much, his name is Issei Akabane. This is where, well, Issei basically got on a small scale fight. It wasn't actually small at all. It was actually a massacre. Pretty much Issei showed why he is not supposed to be taken lightly. Of course, the Sona didn't have any, well, what's it called? Well, try to kind of give Issei a light, what's it called? Mostly suspension. But of course, that didn't really work. And of course, had to give him a 3-month suspension. Just so she will actually be, peace. Just not bother with Issei's troublesome behavior. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei is getting towards the classroom. Basically said 3A. Well, kind of, yeah, 3A. Pretty much those are where the seniors would have been at, like all the seniors from the school and all that. And of course, Issei Akabane is a senior. Now the problem is he doesn't act like a senior most of the time. He acts way too troublesome, too much of a fighter, and too I should say manipulator most of the time. Of course, he was in class, well, 2A, just because he was not really a second year. He's actually is a senior. He's 18 entirely. But of course, he's just really troublesome. Knows his previous because he kind of felt something. But someone wants to get rid of him out of the school, so of course just upgrade him towards senior. This is where, well, Issei gets towards the senior class, and this is where he knocks at it. This is where, well, the teacher opens it and of course widens his eyes. He heard of this kid. This kid who is right now in front of him, he already knows because there's only a couple of people with reddish hair, and that of a blood color, somewhat. Or kind of like an orange or red. But of course his eyes are golden, and those eyes are the only only indication that this person is none other than Issei Akabane. This is where, well, Issei kind of grins at the teacher and says, "Yo, teach." "Hello. I came here because of a change schedule." He kind of gives the paper towards the car. Well, the teacher. The teacher is a young man with kind of darkish hair. Seems to be in his kind of late 30s. But of course, he has onyx eyes. Well, he's not a young man, but yeah, he's not too like into his senior year. He's still in his prime mostly. But of course, he kind of just not glares, mostly just glances at Issei and just says, "I see. Well, come in." This is where, Issei kind of just smiles at the students, mostly grin at them. This is where, everyone kind of sees Issei, and of course, everyone thinks it's a new student. Some of the girls and guys in this class aren't really perverts. Well, there's still some, but of course, where the guy says, "Oh God, it's a cute boy." This is where some of the girls who are perverted a little bit says, "Maybe he's single." This is where, the teacher says, "This is not a new student. This is mostly a student that just returned back to school." This is where half the students were confused. A girl with reddish hair, which the color of actual blood, and of course her bluish eyes, looks at Issei, who has red hair and golden eyes. Now, of course, the teacher explains more. This student kind of got suspended for 3 months. Now, if you were here in the beginning of the year and didn't decide to kind of ditch or not appear after 3 weeks later, then you would know that this is Issei Akabane. Issei Akabane was suspended for 3 months after an incident that took place for him and about 45 other students and 2 perverts. This is where, half the students wind their eyes. They have heard of that incident. This is where, Issei says, "Hello there, students," or mostly, "Hello there, classmates. It'll be an interesting, year, kind of being with my own grade." Now that I think about it, this is where, the students kind of just glances at Issei. Issei shows to have a grin, like shows a smile, like an actual genuine smile. And of course, it's white, and half the girls actually kind of blushes because his face isn't that bad looking. The one thing that's problem is he's one of the most troublesome people in the entire school. He is one of the most infamous kind of people not to mess with. Unlike, there's the famous 4 kind of chicks, like the most popular chicks in the entire school. There's also the infamous people. And infamous, the first rank there is none other than Issei Akabane, since he's someone to cause more trouble than anyone in the entire school in the beginning of the year. Then there's the second rank, then the third rank, but yeah, you get the point. This is where, some of the girls wish that he was actually like a Prince Charming, because when people saw his picture as him being the infamous, they are shocked to see that he's actually like a pretty boy, but he's an infamous, meaning that he's dangerous also. Which girls think that they rather wish him being like a prince, like Akiba Yuta. But of course, Issei is nothing like Kiba Yuta. He's actually quite the opposite. But of course, well, Issei is grinning at all of them, and this is where everyone fears for their lives. Mostly the guys. Because Issei did kind of go after mostly the guys of the 45, well, known incident of getting their ass kicked. This is where, well, this is where the teacher says, okay, Issei, you may sit next to Rias. Rias, can you please raise up your hand? Rias wasn't here at the school, mostly school. During the first couple of weeks, she was still in the underworld. But of course, she did raise up her hand, so she doesn't really know about Issei's kind of like fights and incident. This is where Issei sits next to her, and this is where Issei kind of gives out his hand and says, "Hello there. The name is Issei Akabane." This is where, well, Rias kind of takes his hand and does shake it and says, "Rias Gremory." Issei kind of smiles at her with a gentle smile and says, "A pleasure to meet you. Such a beautiful girl like you." This is where Rias was kind of reddish a little bit, but yeah, like her hair a little bit, but not that red. But of course, this is where, well, Issei then looks forward. This is where Issei is right now planning a lot of things in his head. Just a couple of things that he wants to see. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei, he is then just kind of, well, when the class is over, Issei gets up, and this is where, well, Issei starts walking away. Of course, not causing any trouble, which people thought that he changed. Yeah, that's not the case at all. But of course, well, people really thought he just changed. There was rumors exploding throughout the whole school that the first rank of the infamous, what's it called, people of the school has just came back. The Prince of Darkness, that's what they call him. Unlike they call, what's it called, the 4 females of the school, the queens of, what's it called, Kuo Academy, they basically call Issei the Prince of Darkness, when he's clearly one of the most strongest and infamous people in the entire school. Either the Prince of Darkness, and some people just call him the King of Darkness. But of course, he still hasn't graduated, so of course most of the people call him the Prince of Darkness. This is where, well, Issei is grinning, and of course just walking through, well, the hallways. Without a care, it looks like mostly he has a look of looking for someone entirely. This is where he's looking around the school. Of course, he didn't get towards the second class, but of course, he can make it there by just saying that he just needs to run to his locker for some reason. Because he has the excuse of saying that he needs to run to his locker, when his locker is basically in the opposite side of the school entrance. Of course, he can easily rush over there if he just runs, but if he sprints and runs and kind of uses a little bit of his abilities, but not the point. Issei doesn't need to do that. He just needs to use that excuse. But of course, well, Issei kind of just looks at where some people might be at. This is where, well, he kind of goes into, well, a kind of classroom that's kind of abandoned, and mostly one side of, well, mostly the school is not very used very often. But of course, he goes into a classroom that's abandoned. Of course, he knows it's locked. This is where he knocks at it twice in a very specific pattern. This is where, well, the door kind of, well, opens, and this is where, well, the person who kind of sees, well, Issei bows down in an instant. This is where he says, "Hello there, Issei Akabane, Prince of Darkness of Kuo," or mostly Kuo, Prince of Darkness. This is where, well, Issei says, "Get up." Where's, what's it called? This is where, well, Issei said, "Where's Fudo at?" This is where, well, the person wiped his eyes and says, Fudo isn't here at the school. He got suspended, I guess, well, about a week ago. He's right now supposed to be coming back towards school on, well, about next month on Wednesday. This is where, well, on mostly the third day Wednesday. This is where, well, Issei nodded, saying, such annoying. He caused more trouble, didn't he? This is where, well, the person nodded. This is where, well, Issei says, then where's Lelouch? This is where, well, He says Lelouch is right now probably in classroom. I see. Where's his second classroom? Did it change or is it the same? It did change. It's right now in kind of ceramics. This is where Issei picks up mostly his schedule and realizes that he's basically in the same classroom as Lelouch. This is where you see here there's so many different ranks of infamous people, but mostly the kind of famous ones of the infamous are first Issei is the Prince of Darkness. Then second is basically the Knight of Darkness, and that is none other than Futu, second rank. Third is the genius and mastermind of the mostly darkness army, and that's none other than Lelouch. But of course, there's more people, but of course, those are two people that Issei is looking for. Other than that, mostly, yeah. Now, of course, he then looks back again and says, am I missing someone? Yes. I don't think he's gonna be here. He's probably too tired for this shit. Not the point. He then looks back at this person. He's only an underling, this person. His person is basically, he's not an underling, but he's just ranked pretty low. He's ranked like 32 out of, the infamous, but yeah. But of course, Issei doesn't care. He says, okay, then I should be going then. Issei starts walking away, and of course the person says, yes sir. It's already close to this door, and of course it locks again. This is where, Issei is walking. He's saying, okay, so everyone is right now not here. Alright, I forgot. I wonder if she's here. This is where, he goes to a specific place, mostly on top of the roof of the school, and this is where, he then noticed, someone kind of having a, plushy bear right now eating kind of like some chocolate bar. And this is where, she's looking, outside looking at all the people. She's sitting down, but of course, this is where, she says, so many happy people, hopeful people. Man, I would love to make them feel despair. She says, her hair right now kind of twisting up a little bit, her kind of like palish pinkish hair. Of course, her eyes were dullish blue, but of course turned red a little bit. And this is where, she then says, the rumors about the Prince of Darkness showing up, they could be bullshit rumors. Rumors are just stupid half the time, she says. This is where, the door opened, but of course she didn't hear it until she then got grabbed from behind in a hug, or not really in a hug, just as a tease hug. This is where she said, she whined her eyes, and this is where she was about to turn around just to slap the shit of Pervert or anything. And this is where, before she even could, the slap was grabbed, and this is where, she whined her eyes. Is none other the Prince of Darkness himself. Issei grins and says, whoa, as spicy as ever. Isn't that right, Junko? This is where Junko just glares at Issei and says, don't you dare do that again, bastard. She has this more emotion of anger than anything else. This is where Issei grins at her and right now sticks out his tongue and says, why? Are you gonna slap me? You are very feisty with those kind of slaps. This is where, she was about to hit him again with a slap, and this time her nails was kind of really sharp, and she's aiming to kind of cut him. This is where Issei managed to dodge and says, whoa, are you so angry that I accidentally hug you and managed to kind of touch, you know what? This is where, she glares at him and says, pervert. This is where Issei kind of just grins at her and says, no, I'm not a pervert. I just wanted to tease a little bit about you. This is where, she then sits back down and still is eating her chocolate. She didn't manage to drop it. This is where she says, what do you want, Issei? The Prince of Darkness himself. Oh, you know what I want. And that is fun with you. He said very quietly, but very loud enough to make Junko hear. And this is where Junko's face becomes red and just glares at him, saying, no you wouldn't. I know what you want. That's clearly not what you want. Issei walks towards her with silence And this is where she starts gulping, realizing maybe that's truly what he wants. This is where she starts kind of blushing madly. This is where, well, Issei gets so close that he basically puts his hand under her chin and just lifts her kind of face up towards the same eye level as his. This is where Issei, he got closer and closer, and this is where, well, her face was nothing but red, and say, This is where Issei then starts bursting out laughter. He gets up and says, "You're pretty cute when you blush. Oh, I couldn't resist myself from doing that." This is where she glares at him with this angry look. This is where Issei just smiles at her and says, "What? I couldn't do that? Is that something that you hate or something?" This is where she says, "Fuck you." This is where, well, Issei says, "Oh, you are? Well, that's a pleasant kind of request that you want." This is where, well, she glares at Issei. Issei just smiles at her with this kind of a little bit vicious but just a very funny smile that he just likes. This is where, well, it's very toothy, but yeah. This is where, well, she says, "Whatever. What exactly do you want, Issei?" This is where, well, Issei said, "Oh, nothing. I just came to visit. And I'm wondering, what classes do you have? 5th rank." This is where, well, Junko glares at him. And of course, her rank is now known to be the 5th rank. She is Junko, the kind of, mostly they know her more better as the Queen of Despair, or mostly the Princess of Despair, but yeah. Cause clearly she can actually make people feel despair. Her presence is pretty mostly out of just despair. She wants to find someone who is hopeful in battle and try to kind of crush her dreams. Of course, other than that, Issei is known as, well, the Prince of Darkness, but also known as the Prince of Fear. But yeah, thanks to the fact that he's very, very terrifying most of the time. But of course, Junko just glares at him and says, "Go away." That's where Issei says, "You hurt my feelings. Fine, I'll be leaving. Just, I want to tell you something. If you see, what's it called? If you see your sister Rainier, or mostly Rainier, I just want to tell her something." This is where, well, Junko says, "You're just going to tease her just like you did to me." Of course. This is where, well, Junko glares at him with a dirty, angry look. And this is where, well, Issei just smiles at her and says, "Well, bye." This is where, well, Issei walks through the door and of course it shuts. And this is where, well, she sighs and says, "Idiots. I'm not gonna tell my sister anything. Jerk." This is where, well, we go into Issei getting, well, out of, well, mostly the downstairs and other things and other stuff, and starts walking towards his classroom. This is where, well, he gets towards the, well, ceramics class, and this is where when the teacher sees Issei, he sweat drops a little bit. Half the students start sweat dropping also. The Prince of Darkness just showed up. This is where the teacher says, "Okay, clearly Issei came back." He's right now stuttering a little bit, but this is where, well, he's trying not to stutter. But this is where he says, "You may go sit down in your spot." Issei says, "Good." This is where, well, Issei starts walking, and he basically takes the seat next towards, well, basically the opposite side from, well, Lelouch. Lelouch glances at Issei once and sighs, knowing what Issei is doing, making sure to falsely, well, show that he's not trying to sit next to Lelouch, but to just make everyone have a false hope. This is where, well, so many people are sweat dropping. They already had Lelouch, the mastermind of just easily outsmarting your ass in like 2 seconds. And now they have Issei, the Prince of Darkness. This is where, well, or mostly, well, there's still a lot of different names. One person says, "Damn it, the Prince of Chaos is here." Shit. One person says the Prince of fucking Bloodbath is here. This is where, well, Issei is just smiling with this evil smile, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei is pretty damn dangerous most of the time. This is where there are more people sweat dropping, but yeah. Lelouch realized that whoever fucking made the, what's it called, schedule, if he really, this is where Lelouch already thought and who actually made the, what's it called, schedule, and that is none other than Sona. he knows that Sona actually gets kind of just frightened around, well, Issei. Well, anyone would, but one person that doesn't get too frightened around Issei is none other than the Sobaki. Basically, Sona's kind of like queen. Now, of course, all the people that are infamous do know about somewhat the supernatural. Issei does know about the supernatural, and that's why I said that's his abilities. But yeah. But of course, Lelouch also does know about the supernatural. That's why he calls the president Sona instead of, well, Cyrena, her fake name. But yeah. That's where, well, he's also pretty smart to actually figure out a lot of things. That's where, well, we go into Issei kind of, well, sorry about that. This is where, well, Issei kind of, well, waits until the class ends. And this is where Issei gets up just to leave first. And this is where, well, Lelouch does get up then after last to kind of talk to Issei. This is where they meet up at a Pacific place. And of course, where, well, Issei said, "Yo, Lelouch, mostly the mastermind of everything. So, what do you have planned?" This is where Lelouch says, "Nothing much, just a couple of things I have planned. But it's not truly chaos while everyone being here. There's still a lot of people suspended. And since you were suspended for 3 months, your recklessness did cause some of us not to enjoy chaos. So of course half of us had to live peacefully, I guess." This is where, well, Issei says, yeah. I know it was very stupid of me to cause as much chaos as I wanted in the beginning. But you know me, Lelouch. I can't just hold myself back like that when there's clearly so many people that have too many impure thoughts here. And I just wanted to show them a little bit about who I am exactly." This is where, well, Lelouch says, yeah. I understand. Blah, 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 blah. That's where Issei grins at him and says, "Good to know that a friend of mine does understand." This is where, well, we go into, well, mostly after them talking for a little bit. This is where Lelouch goes off to kind of, well, mostly goes off to get towards the next class. This is where Issei gets towards mostly the kind of other side of the classes where, well, other classes. Mostly he gets to his other class. And of course, where, well, he just goes through class like his regular, the same. Of course, where, well, he gets to his 6-hour class. And of course, where, well, he sees a beautiful black-haired girl with these, what's it called? Well, not red, mostly violet. And of course, where, well, she is right now looking at the textbook because she is right now working on classwork. But of course, where, well, Issei, he went down to sit next to her. And this is where, well, when she kind of glances up, she noticed Issei, the Prince of Darkness, right now sitting next to her. This is where, well, Issei whispered into her ear saying, "Hey there, Rainier. What are you doing?" This is where, well, Rainier says, "What are you doing here?" She kind of composed herself. Right now, a little bit stuttery, but still just surprised Issei is here. She remembered getting a text from her sister kind of saying that, "Watch out for Issei." This is where, well, also known as the Prince of Darkness. This is where, well, she says, "What are you doing here?" This is where, well, Issei says, "What? I can't be next to you?" This is where Issei puts his arm around her and says, "I can't really be near you? What's wrong? You don't want to talk about it?" This is where she says, "Don't put your arm around me. It gets weird." This is where, well, Issei says, "How's that? How does a heck that?" Well, he says, "How does it get weird?" This is where she just says, "Just stop." This is where Issei says, "Fine. What are you working at anyway?" "I'm just getting through this classroom. I don't really care about anything." This is where, well, Issei said, "Okay." This is where Issei grins at her. This is where, well, she says, "Damn, chaos is about to start, isn't it?" This is where, well, Issei says, "Maybe." This is where, well, she says, "Okay, just don't get me involved in this shit." This is where Issei said, "Aw, but you know you love getting involved." This is where Raina's face becomes a little bit red, but she says, "Che, idiot." This is where Issei just grins at her, but yeah. This is where, well, we go into a time skip later on, mostly the 7th hour class, but he mostly just ditches it because he doesn't care. This is where, well, he goes on after that to kind of get to his house. This is where he's walking towards his house until mostly, well, he gets a kind of call, or not even a call, mostly he gets, well, interrupted, mostly he kind of is walking at night. Well, he gets to his house, he then decides to go outside and walk around, but yeah, this is where, well, a fallen angel tries to attack him, but this time isn't Rainier or even, well, her sister named Junko, since they are fallen angels, and Issei does know that they are fallen angels. This is where, well, a guy with kind of a brownish coat and a brownish hat started attacking Issei, saying, "You have a very powerful sacred gear. And it's a shame that I'm gonna have to kill such a young boy like you." Issei grins and says, "Interesting. Kill me, please. You probably wouldn't even be able to hit a still fish. Well, still fish, just right now standing in front of you." This is where, well, Donoshik throws a light spear at Issei, and Issei just sees this light spear getting close to him, and he just catches it in thin air, saying, "Please, is this all you have?" He then snaps it. This is where, well, Issei pulls out a gun from behind him and starts blasting Donoshik down to just make him fall down to the ground. This is where Issei, this is where he then sees a dark blue-haired girl with, of course, a red kind of coat and, of course, having dark wings. And then he say, "Kalin, kill him." This is where Kalin landed next to Issei. And, of course, where, well, she didn't actually attack Issei. This is where, well, Donoshik, what are you doing? This is where, well, Mita, or whatever her name is, kind of also did land next to Issei. And this is where, well, Issei said, "So, how about that? You tried to alliance and tried to get help for other people, and yet they decide to betray you. Don't you feel fear right now, knowing that you're going to die pretty easily?" This is where Issei puts the gun right in towards his head. This is where, well, Donoshik widened his eyes, seeing what's it called, the two aligned fallen angels that should have been helping him, but of course it's going to let him die. This is where Issei says, "Bye, bird brains." Blows his head off. This is where, well, he then turns around to the bluish hair girl, and of course most of the blondish hair girl. This is where Issei says, "Thank you, girls, for not attacking me. Then again, you are aligned with what's it called, Azel, and also Rainier and Junko." This is where, well, Issei said, "Well, I should probably be going." This is where, well, they decide to spread out their fallen wings and just fly away from Issei. Issei grins and saying, "I wonder how Azel is doing." This is where, well, Issei then makes a red kind of portal magic, but it's kind of a reddish, well, it's not reddish, it's a, what's it called, goldenish kind of color. And of course he jumps into it and teleports. I mean, it's a magic circle, yeah. Of course, this is where, well, Issei then kind of appears in, what's it called, Azel's house, which he's playing Smash Bros right now. But of course, this is where, oops, sorry. Well, he kind of says, "Yeah, I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm going to win. I'm going to win." This is where, well, his, what's it called, son is right now just saying, "No, you're not. You bastard. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you." This is where, well, mostly his son is none other than Volley. And yes, Volley's the dude in this one. And of course, this is where, well, Azel and Volley are just getting angry at each other. And this is where, well, Issei appears in a golden circle. And this is where, well, he then starts to think it'd be funny. This is where a magic circle appears in his hand. A goldenish magic circle. And of course, where, well, he appears to kind of be, well, a water balloon. And he just tosses it at, what's it called, Azel. And Azel gets hit by the water balloon and kind of just falls down to the ground. And realizes his face is all wet. And this is where he says, "No, I'm gonna lose." This is where everybody says, "Fuck you." This is where Azel says, "You mother." This is where he glares at Issei. This is where everybody says, "Fuck you, I won. Suck on that." That's where, well, Volley starts what's it called? Well, cussing at what's it called? Azo. And this is where Volley then sees, oh hey Issei. He kind of just says towards Issei, well mostly not Issei, Issei very casually. Issei says, yo Volley, what's good? This is where they kind of just basically handshake each other, and of course the where Azo says, what the hell do you want, brat? So I just came here just to talk to you, Azo. What is it then? This is where Volley went off to kind of play more Smash Bro, but this time by an AI. And this is where he's drinking some water. And this is where Azo says, what the hell do you want exactly, brat? Oh, well, I came here to talk to you. I mostly came here to talk about Rainier and Junko. I want to take their hands in marriage. This is where, as I was kind of drinking a little bit, just trying to ignore the kid, this is where he spits out what's it called, like some alcohol because he was drinking alcohol. And this is where, Volley also spits out water and says, what? This is where, Issei grins at them and says, I'm just kidding. This is where Issei laughs at them, pretty just hilarious to see them both react just like kind of overprotected a little bit. This is where, Azo says, brat, so annoying. I can't tell if you're joking or you're being serious, and I hate it. This is where, two doors did shut, and of course this is where Issei says, and I feel like they heard me, didn't they? This is where, we go into a blushing Junko and a blushing Rainier. They're right now in their rooms. This is where Volley says, I'd be surprised if they didn't hear you. You know, since they've been there at the wall, seeing you kind of throw that water balloon at Azo. So, I'm surprised if they didn't hear you. This is where, the door does shut, and of course, it was already shut. So, of course, Volley was already talking. So, yeah, they're probably blushing madly red. That's where Issei says, I wonder if I go into their rooms, what will happen? Azo says, oh hell no, you brat, you won't do anything. This is where light spears appear around Issei. Whoa, calm down, Azo. I'm only a suggestion. Besides, I'm not gonna do anything to them. No, they're not ready. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. This is where Azo says, shut the hell up, you brat. Issei grins at him and says, heh, jerk. This is where, Issei says, but whatever, I should probably be going. Pretty much I only came here to kind of tease and mess around. But I should also say, if I meet the supernatural being named Coco Bean, what do you want me to do? This is where, Azo says, he gets down serious and says, I want you to at least get help. I don't want you to fight him alone. I know you're the Red Dragon Emperor, but yet you won't be powerful enough to defeat, Coco Bean. This is where, Issei grins and says, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Who knows? Well, I should probably be going. A magic circle appears behind Issei and he disappears. Azo says, that troublesome kid. Kuh. This is where, Azo went to go check on his daughters and say, Junko, are you asleep? This is where no answer. And this is where, he then goes to Rainier and says, are you asleep also, Rainier? This is where Rainier is the same, no answer. This is where, Ethan sighs and says, they're probably asleep. This is where both Junko and Rainier thinks at the same time, what? This is where, we go into Issei kind of grinning and going into his room, falling asleep and saying, this was a good day. This is where, he says, I wonder how the others will be coming. He then says, oh, I wonder how rank 4 and rank 2 are gonna come. Whatever, chaos should be starting in about a couple of months. Well, let's start. Issei grins before closing his eyes and turning to sleep. Well, of course, this is where I'm going to leave it off for part 1 of What If Issei was a reincarnation of, Karma Akabane. Now, yes, I know some people are going to be confused in why Issei's last name is Akabane and not Hyodo. Well, that's just because, his parents' last name is actually Akabane and not Hyodo. But for right now, I'm going to end it off here and say, bye. But bye.